Yo, what up, you guys? MxgicIQ here, and today I usually do a cut com with the gameplay, but I did get this gameplay while I was not recording. I was actually streaming, so make sure you guys follow the Twitch and stop by the streams because that is where we found this build live. I was testing out the Viper. You guys have been really asking a lot for this car, and I realized, let me go back and revisit it because maybe I was wrong. I knew it had a lot of power, but I didn't even think about using it in this way, and I'm so happy I did. But without further ado, let's get into this video. Let's try and shoot for about 80 likes because, man, was I wrong about this car. Let's get straight into it. Alrighty, you guys, and as we're getting into the gameplay here, I'm actually going to give you guys a little bit of a voiceover just to teach you guys exactly what I'm doing, at least on a couple corners before I let the rest of the gameplay play out, just so I can give you guys a little bit of, a how-to drive this Viper, and so you're the most successful with it that you can be without knowing exactly how to drift race 100% to the max pushed limit. Now, first things first, we're going to have to launch this car in 4th gear. 5th gear you could try, but I personally prefer to launch it in 4th, and it's a little bit difficult to hold this car right in the green, so you can drop it as soon as you see the 1 pop up on your screen, and you'll be right in the middle of the green meter, alright? And coming into turn 1 here, we're going to have 1 bar of burst to utilize. We're going to drift about halfway through the corner, point ourselves towards the exit, and just hit the burst nos immediately. Now coming through the grass here, I could have cleaned this section up a lot more, probably would have got me more time. There you want to try and attempt to micro drift. It's a little bit difficult to control because it is a drift build. Here you're going to point yourself as much towards the exit as possible. As you see, Course is behind me trying to push me, to go even faster. In the F40, really just putting the pace on, letting me know where I'm supposed to be at if I want to get a sub 2. And as you see, I fall off a little bit in the exit speed of that last corner. But here I carry the burst perfectly. Just point myself towards the exit and just nitrous all the way out. Same here. I could have hit the burst just a little bit earlier if I carried it from a previous corner. I could have made up some time there. Didn't need to drift as much on that corner. Lost a little bit of time there as well. But we still are racing very consistent and very clean. You can still get very good times while making minor mistakes, but those minor mistakes will have led to that 159 if I did not make those mistakes. Here we're going to keep this burst bar and try and get it to a full 3 bar. And on this exit right here, we're going to hit that and grip over to the left. Get that 1 bar of grip nos, hit the drift, exit towards that corner. Now, what I would have done there instead, knowing now after running the car even more, is I would have carried it with a micro drift instead of trying to drift that corner into that hairpin. Now, in all these corners, you're just going to point yourself towards the exit about halfway through the corner as you see here, and straighten the car out and hit the burst. And it's going to carry you straight through the corner. This car is very grippy on the tarmac. Be very careful about hitting the burst in the dirt in this car because it does not like it and it will spin out and it will over-rotate. Trust me. This last portion was a little bit sketchy. I had to hit it a little bit late just due to that traffic car. I would have liked to hit it a little bit earlier. It possibly would have got me a 201 even though I was not running that well that race. But it was super clean, no real crashes or hitting anything, and that's why I wanted to show you guys that gameplay specifically. So, alrighty, you guys, first things first here, the motor in this car. This car has so many different options. Now, the 2 best options are going to be your 8.4 liter V10 and the number 1 option being the 4.9 liter V8. This is the exact same motor that we use in my S-Class Fox body build. This motor is very, very misleading if you were to only look at the stats. Speaking of the stats, let's go over them real quick. So as you guys can see, we got 1,085 horsepower, 1,257 foot-pounds of torque, and a quarter-mile time of 9.9. Now that's not where this car gets misleading. This is the misleading stat right here, 181 top speed. That is completely false. This car actually gets up to 187 miles per hour without even using RevTech. Then if you use RevTech, you can get it up to 194, 195. And if you hit 3 bars of NOS exiting the last corner on rapid transit, you actually get up to 198. And if you half throttle as soon as you hit it, you can hold it right at around 200 miles per hour. This thing is an absolute beast. You can gain almost 20 miles per hour using RevTech. It's insane. This car is an absolute beast, man. Without further ado, let's get straight into the parts on this motor. I really, really enjoy this car, and it's actually a drift build. Guys, I'm about to to come out with a tutorial with Kois. I'm actually going to work on it with him. I want to teach you guys how to drift race because I've personally been learning from the man himself, and last night I felt like it finally started to click. The run I'm showing you guys isn't even the fastest potential run with this car, nor the fastest time I got. I just believed it was one of my cleaner races, as I actually got a 201 later on testing on my own, but I actually messed up because this car is capable of 159 and maybe even lower on blue collar, which actually makes this car a top 10 to top 7 competitor, which is crazy because I used to completely write this car off when you guys would ask me about it in the comments, and I am so very sorry for that, but I just never thought to use it in this way. As you guys can see, we're using elite induction, almost all elite engine parts until we get over to the forced induction here, which is super dual turbos. So that means we're using an elite exhaust, elite fuel system, elite ECU compared to, using anything else in those slots. We're using all elite just with a super forced induction and obviously the stock bottle of sport nitrous here. We're also using super road suspension as well as pro stock brakes as well as super grip tires here, because if you throw elite grip tires, it goes to 330. We're also using the sport basic stock clutch. It comes in the car, don't change it. And we're using the 5-speed gearbox over the 6-speed. Now there's a couple 6-speed builds you could put together that might be a little less aggressive. Let me know if you guys want me to come out with those. I can. We're leaving the differential stock here because if we upgrade this diff, it actually makes the situation worse for us and gives us more drift than we really want to use. The elite differential, by the way, if you were to use this with a grip setup, only gets you to 40% grip. So in my opinion, this is the only way to run this car. The grip build just doesn't compete the same. This build is so elite. I mean, this thing is an absolute beast with the drift. But since it is a drift build, you need to make sure you reset your auxiliaries, as this heavily relies on NOS and consistent burst. Okay, so make sure you go ahead and click empty slot just like this. This is how you reset your auxiliaries. Now, what does resetting the auxiliaries do? Well, it makes it so they actually work, and you have to do this every time you enter a new lobby. I apologize for Criterion because this is something that really makes gameplay, make or break you on times. You can be off by 3 or 4 seconds without auxiliaries. Trust me, it's actually insane. So make sure you reset them, all right? Now, going over into the handling characteristics, which matter a lot, okay? We're actually running 38% drift in this beast, not 40, not 35, 38% drift, and that is made possible by using the super road suspension. We're also using a steering sensitivity of right in the middle, and I used to have max downforce on this, but I actually moved it over 2 clicks to the right, as actually 3 clicks is 330, and 1 click to the right off of downforce in the middle is actually 330 as well. But 2 clicks to the right is perfect, and all the way to the right is perfect as well. But 2 clicks to the right from the middle, I have found to be the best and optimal way to run this car. Traction control is completely off for me, and drift entry is brake tap. I've made multiple mistakes on the run I'm about to show you in terms of how much speed I can get, but in terms of how the drive actually went, it was the cleanest capture that I got. But you can definitely make some different cuts and some different times in RNG with the burst NOS, and you can get 150s in this car. It's very impressive. It's a very impressive build. It's also capable of 148s easily on getting high tonight. I got a 153 while crashing. This car is an absolute beast on tracks with straightaways as well. Rapid transit, it's easily a 230 car, like 238, 237. You just got to really push it. Drift builds are a lot different to use. I'm going to make that video with Kois, so let me know if you guys would like to see that, because honestly, it's a completely different mindset. When I go into corners, I'm not even looking at the car or the screen anymore. I'm just staring at my burst NOS meter, and as soon as you hit tarmac, all you do is click the burst NOS and just send yourself in the opposite direction. This car is super aggressive. It's super fun to use. Trust me, you're going to have a ball with it. You can try and study the gameplay as much as you want. Let me know if it helps just by watching that. And if so, I will also do a tutorial as well. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's been MxgicIQ, and I will see you guys in the next video. Let me know what other cars you guys want to see. I'm revisiting a whole bunch of stuff now, just because every time I seem to go back to a car, we find a way to make it better. This is a drift build. I hope you guys enjoy. It's faster than running it in a grip setup. There's actually no grip setup for this car that I think even competes with the drift build. Trust me, this thing's an absolute beast, man. I hope you guys enjoy. It's been MxgicIQ, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out. Peace.